Hello YouTube, Super Norst here, and this is going to be my 5 favorite games of 2013, along with a few runner-ups. So, for the qualifications here, these obviously have to be games that I played and finished to the end there. And that doesn't mean I 100% at all of these, but I did have a lot of fun with them nevertheless. Now, let's go ahead and get right onto it here with number 5. Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Now, I was really psyched for this game right from when I heard the 3DS was coming out. And this game, after delay upon delay upon delay, we finally got it into our hands, and it definitely lives up to my expectations. You have a bunch of different mansions that you need to go clear out the ghosts and find the Dark Moon pieces so that you can restore the Dark Moon, which is basically just something that makes ghost friendly towards humans. Without the Dark Moon, the ghosts are all wild and they want to scare you and do all kinds of fucked up shit, which they'll play all kinds of tricks and stuff on you throughout the duration of this game. It's tons of fun. Definitely a great successor to Luigi's Mansion on the GameCube, and even a little bit longer than it as well, since the first game was a little bit short. So, yeah, this was my number 5 choice as the best game in 2013. Number 4, we got Super Mario 3D World. Now, this is definitely going to be our 3D Mario game for the Wii U, at least for the next few years. Hopefully Nintendo will slow it down a little bit on these Mario games and release stuff from some of their other franchises, but that doesn't mean that just because it's another Mario game, it's just, you know. This is probably the best 3D Mario game that I've played since, I would say Super Mario Sunshine on GameCube. I really liked that game. I really like this game. A lot of cool collectibles, stamps and green stars, shit for you to finish. Really, not much more you could ask for in a Mario game, especially when it comes to all the different power-ups. Now, here we have number 3, Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. Now, this, what could I say here? Link to the Past wasn't a game I grew up with. I had a Super Nintendo, but I did not have A Link to the Past as a kid. Still, I find this game to be an extremely exceptional, I was going to call it a remake, but it isn't a remake. It's a whole different new game in itself. It basically takes the Link to the Past world, remakes it, puts new dungeons in it, and it gives you this cool little gimmick of going on the walls and moving on the walls to get from place to place at times. It kind of puts a new spin on the Zelda dungeons and makes it feel like makes it not feel like just another Zelda game. It's very fresh, and you'll have a ton of fun with it if you have not played this masterpiece yet. I suggest going and getting it. So yeah, my number 3 pick here for the best game, the 5 best of 2013. And next we have Dead Rising 3. I'll say it right now, this is the reason why I wanted an Xbox One. This game looks so cool, just from when I seen it, the trailers of it and all of that. It really seemed like the zombie game that I had been wanting to play for quite a long time. I was initially very interested in this game right here, Zombie U. One of the games I got last year. But this thing is just too fucking hard. And oh my gosh, it's a project if you want to get through Zombie U. And I'm not saying it's a bad game. It's just an extremely tedious game. You gotta be perfect about running away from these zombies or killing them. Which I would suggest running away in this game rather than killing them like I would in this game, because in this game you don't have a lot to work with. In this game you have all kinds of shit to build, all kinds of combo weapons, all sorts of cool little side missions, whereas this game it seemed pretty much, well, at least from as far as I got, you go from point A to point B and do various missions in kind of a linear formula. Granted, I didn't get very far into this. It might have broken out into more of an open world type game, but it was just too damn freaking hard for me to get that far. This game, it's not easy, but it's certainly not anything that's going to make you rage quit either. Definitely my suggestion for the game that you got to pick up if you get an Xbox One. Also, this was my introduction into the entire Dead Rising franchise. I can definitely say that I've put 30 plus hours in this game, and I've just about maxed out all the stats, and that's with doing 3 playthroughs. No, I haven't touched the what's it called, the survival mode, the nightmare mode, whatever it's called. I haven't touched that yet, simply because I don't like the idea of having to save at porta potties. I'd rather just be able to save anywhere in the game. I really, if there's one thing about me as a gamer, I want to be able to save my game and put it down anytime I want. Not just at certain BS checkpoints that the game arbitrarily decides that you can save at. And, I mean, I'll give some of these games, like the Super Nintendo games, a little bit of a pass-by on that, simply because back then, probably due to limitations in the hardware, they probably had to make you save in certain plates in certain RPGs. Well, maybe not. I'm just a gamer, I'm not a developer. But, yeah, pick this up if you want a great game on your Xbox One. If you do want survival on the Wii U, do try this too, but it's not going to be for everyone. Again, this was a 2012 game. This isn't 2013, but I figured I'd mention it anyway. Number 2 game of 2013. And what was the best game of last year? I love it. It was so much fun. You had 3 different characters. You gotta stay alive by getting the Pikmin to take fruit back to your spaceship. And the more fruit you get, of course, the longer that you can live. It pretty much just becomes pointless to keep getting fruit at some point, because you'll have so much fruit that you can pretty much live for hundreds of days. But at the same time, it's just so much fun to 100% this game on every playthrough. Go through and get every little fruit, do every little thing you can get, and just get as many Pikmin as you can possibly get. Granted, the story mode is a little bit short for my taste, but what it did do, it did in spades. It did excellent. And again, the story mode's really short, but it gave me something else that I really like. Mission mode. I put more time in the mission mode than I even did in the story mode, just because I think it is fun as hell to go and try and get the most points by collecting fruit or by killing all the enemies. It's just, oh my gosh. And the DLC for this is so cheap, but it gives you a lot of different maps and stuff to play in mission mode. I've just had a blast with this. And if you're new to Pikmin, it's good to pick this up. Like, you don't have to play Pikmin 2 or 1 to get into this. In fact, I even suggest that you play this before you play Pikmin 2, because this game is easier than Pikmin 2. Pikmin 2 is probably one of the most difficult games for me to complete on the GameCube. And that's just because some of its dungeons are literally so difficult that you would need to go through them 3 or 4 times to complete everything. And that's simply because the amount of Pikmin you lose in some of those later dungeons is just absurd. Not to mention, it really, Pikmin 2, more than this game, really made you strategize to, okay, you need to take these red Pikmin because they are immune to fire, and you need these yellow ones because they're immune to lightning, and you need these white ones because they're the ones against poison. And Pikmin 2 made you strategize a lot more than this one, and simply because of all the switching up that you had to do, and all the backtracking you had to do in Pikmin 2 in a lot of those dungeons. I'm talking about the later ones, not the earlier ones that you can complete in just one go. It makes this game easier just because it takes a more well, there's no dungeons. This is like the first game. It's one big, huge map that you land on, and there's like 4 of them in the game, and you go through and collect all the fruit. No dungeons, like in Pikmin 2. I like the dungeons better myself, but this game did it well enough that it's definitely my favorite Wii U game of 2013, and my favorite game of 2013. So yeah, now let's talk about a few runner-ups up. And these are mainly games that either I didn't complete, or they were remakes, so I didn't feel that they deserved an actual spot. Animal Crossing New Leaf. Hell of a lot of fun. You'll spend tons of time on this, especially since it's just a very casual, you can pick up and play it for like 10-15 minutes while you're on a lunch break at work, put it back down, and go back to doing something. It's a game you need to keep up with for sure, but definitely tons of fun. Shin Megami Tensei Devil Summoner Soul Hackers, which I have this on Sega Saturn too. This one's in Japanese. This one is in English. So I can play this one, but I can't play this one because I don't know Japanese. But yeah, I got a decent way through this game and it was a ton of fun. Definitely suggest it for anyone who likes the Shin Megami Tensei series. Speaking of Shin Megami Tensei, Shin Megami Tensei 4. That was a lot of fun right there. Didn't complete it. Have yet to. Fire Emblem Awakening. Same thing. It's been a lot of fun, but I have not completed the game. Part of the reason why I haven't completed some of these is because my backlog of games, especially RPGs that I need to get through, is so intense, and these games can take 60, 80, even more than that to complete. Some of them, I just have yet to go through it, but doesn't mean that I haven't had fun along the way. I'm just not going to put something I didn't finish as best game of the year. And of course, Zelda Wind Waker HD, which for obvious reasons I didn't put it on the list because it's a remake. Doesn't mean that I didn't love every minute of it. And a couple other notes here. I did not play Grand Theft Auto 5. I did not play The Last of Us. And those are two games that I would really like to play sometime, as I hear that they're on most people's lists. But yeah, if I didn't get to play it, then certainly I'm not going to put it on my list. But I plan on getting those games once they get pretty cheap, and then maybe I'll talk about them on some other in a future time if I find them to be a ton of fun. Maybe even do some gameplay once I get the Hog Hog. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Best games of 2013. I guess I'll go into this. I'm not going to do a worst games of 2013 video, simply because I didn't play too much that I hated this year. I avoided the games that I didn't think looked good, and the worst thing that I had to deal with was Sonic Lost World, which I'm not even going to say that's a terrible game, but it certainly has its flaws. Enough flaws that I would call it just an average game, even a below average game. But yeah, save that for another time. Godspeed all you, and peace out.